Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining our webinar today. My name is Maria, and I'm in charge of global PR and communications for B2B products at Rakuten Viber, and I will be your host for today's webinar. Today, we will be discussing a topic that I'm sure is very interesting and relevant for many of you: how to set up and supercharge your mobile marketing strategy. And now I am very delighted to present our speakers. Please welcome Noah Barshey, Senior Partnership Account Director at Rakuten Viber, Carla Banoa, APAC Sales Manager, Veronica Faleo, Business Development Manager, Bridget Villarin, Operations Director at Mega Mobile, Romy Fresto, Senior Sales Manager at Infobip, and Edsel, Data Analytics and Media Optimization Manager, Cebu Pacific Air. During today's webinar, our speakers will cover the following topics. What are the current trends in communication with customers? How to achieve an outstanding customer experience with Viber for Business Solutions? Also, together with our partners, we will present several success stories. You can expect each speaker to have a floor for about 7-10 minutes, and we will conduct a short Q&A session at the end of our presentation. If you do have any questions during the webinar, please type them at any time in the Q&A window, which you can see at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and we will be happy to address them during the Q&A session. And now I would like to give the floor to our first speaker, Carla Banoa. Dear Carla, the stage is yours.
Yeah, well, all right. Thank you, Maria. Again, welcome everyone. So just a quick intro. I'm Carla, as Maria said, and I handle or overseeing the total APAC region, which includes, of course, the Philippines. Next slide, please. Okay, so before I proceed to the rest of my slides, basically we would like to start today's webinar by showing you on how consumer communication has evolved in the previous years and was even accelerated in the last couple of years. And of course, we all know the culprit. This is due to COVID. So year on year, what we have been seeing is that messaging apps have become really popular, which resulted to the increase in numbers of consumers actually using it to communicate and also at the same time do online transactions from their mobile devices. So okay, like in the Philippines, for instance, as you can see in the slides, it's actually a huge 98% of our internet users in the Philippines that are actually using messaging platforms like Viber for one. But there's also a challenge. Staying connected to the customers or to their own consumers is actually more tougher than ever. So as you can see in the slides, the stats below show that over 70% of the consumers today, they actually only respond or they engage with marketing messages that are relevant or customized to their needs. And also another stats or research that we have gotten is that there's more sense of urgency that are expected by the brands, or sorry, by the consumers rather, to the brands. So they expect better customer service and they expect to be communicated in real time or even 24/7 if possible. And since we're also dealing with a mobile first audience nowadays, basically you can do everything from your mobile devices. 75% of the consumers, they actually want to send messages to the businesses rather than making a call, because we all know what happens if a user sometimes calls a hotline or a trunk line by the brand. We are put into a long wait or we are put into a queue. So basically the patience is very short for the users nowadays. And lastly, or finally, there's actually more sense of urgency from messages being received through messaging platforms, because 85% of the users or the consumers will actually read a message coming from the brands being sent out through messaging platforms. Next slide, please. Okay, so basically this is where we come in. Viber for Business is a set of integrated solutions that can actually help your business goals. May it be to attract new customers or your current customers that are very heavy Viber users. Interact with them through one-to-one chats. And through this one-to-one chats, you're able to qualify your audiences, know more about them, and these insights can be used to actually send out relevant or or customized messages to your own database, or let's say to your own or to the customers that are on Viber. And as you all know, Viber is a very safe and secured space or environment. So given that, you're giving a channel to your customers or your consumers to be able to transact with you, to perform certain functions. Let's say sign-ups, or let's say even actual transactions like purchase and the other online activities. And lastly, also through our services, there's an opportunity to stay in contact with your own customers, or let's say new customers out there, let's say via CRM integration that can be able to contact your customer support team. Next slide, please. Okay, so just to give you more no further introduction needed, of course, for Viber. Just to give you an idea on how big Viber is. So as you all know, Viber is a global messaging app. We're present in 190 plus countries, totaling to more than 1 billion unique registered users. But focusing on Southeast Asia, so Southeast Asia is one of our growth markets. And under Southeast Asia, Philippines is actually a key market for us. You can consider a driver for the Southeast Asia. As you can see, 71%, we own 71% or smartphone penetration in the Philippines. And in 2020, Viber is also one of the top 10 most downloadable app in the Philippines in 2020. Next slide, please. Okay, so in terms of audiences, for Viber in APAC and in the Philippines, if you will see, it's kind of similar. For APAC and the Philippines, our core markets is really, or let's say over 75% of our users, they actually belong to above 25 years old, so 25 and up. What's good about this kind of audience is that their profile are working professionals, and we all know that given that they are working professionals, these are, let's say, probably your first-time jobbers, your managers, or let's say the ones that have already climbed up the corporate ladder. So given that, they represent a very good purchasing power, which is very beneficial to the brands out there. In terms of gender split, total APAC, we're very much, not very much, but a little higher towards the male versus the female. But surprisingly, for the Philippines, it's actually the reverse. So we have more users in the Philippines for Viber, which is about, as you can see, it's about above. All right, so more users in the Philippines for female for Viber. And what's good about that is that we all know that in the Philippines, the households are very much represented by the female. Females have a lot of say in terms of purchasing or how to run expenses or budgets in the Philippine household. In terms of OS, also not so surprising, higher on Android versus iOS, and in terms of device split, also higher on mobile versus desktop. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is a very interesting slide, and also I can consider one of my favorite slides for my part, because this summarizes or shows how Viber has grown since the pandemic, and it has grown very massive. So as you can see, there's actually 211% increase in the number of brands that have joined us over the past years to communicate with Viber, specifically using the Viber Business Message solution. The total number of sent messages during this period actually increased by 86%. Special growth was attributed or was shown by transactional messages. These number of messages will include, let's say, sending reminders, delivery notifications, one-time passwords, and even registration confirmations and other push notifications out there. And it increased by almost 300%. Also, starting from the pandemic, we see another rapidly growing trend. This is the demand of building meaningful conversations between the brands and their users. And also, not new to everyone, I guess, chatbots is also on the rise. The popularity of chatbots have actually increased by 48%. And of course, every year, more and more brands are actually realizing the benefits of running mobile advertising campaigns. So given that realization, our direct advertising clients have grown by a whopping over 300%. Next slide, please. Okay, so this time around, I think the rest of my slides will be focusing on more of a deep dive per service. So first on the advertising solutions. All right, so on mobile advertising suite, so again, this is very popular amongst clients in the Philippines and also the rest of Southeast Asia. So what you can see here, it's a combination of display and native ads for you. So Viber chats is basically a native ad. You see this main feed of your Viber where you have your messages, your chats, and conversations. Since this is the very much visited section of a Viber's app, so that's why if you will see it's native in the sense that it kind of blends in between your chats, but still very visible. And normally you would supplement it with a set of copies, let's say a title, a summary, and a call to action button that can redirect to, let's say, your own assets, like your website. Another one is a post call. So this time around, it's a banner or display ad. So aside from banner and display that is served after the call, there's also an opportunity for you to run non-static format. So let's say if you have video creatives, this is the slot or the space for you. Viber calls, it's also another native. So this time around, it's seen in your call section. So call section is like where you see your contacts and calls history, but this time around, the ad is placed at the top portion. Viber Explore is another ad format that you can use to run your display and video ads. So Explore screen is where a user can check out some content for himself. So normally, if there are new features on Viber, we announce it here. Or let's say if there are tie-ups we do that for brands to help them promote their own bots or their communities, we also use the Explore for that. And lastly, Viber More, also another native, but this time around, you're seeing it, obviously, your More screen. So More screen is like your ID on Viber. You would normally see here your photo, your phone number, and the different features available. So upper fold of More, this is where we're serving the ad. So the idea of mobile advertising suite is to run all this portfolio for you to help you target your audiences on Viber, whatever their activity may be. May they be checking their messages, making a call, updating their contacts, or checking out content on Viber. If you will also notice the CTR rates on Viber is actually higher compared to market benchmarks. So which means that it actually shows you the stickiness of our users within Viber. Next slide, please. Okay, so a few slides back, I mentioned about the need to actually send or to send customized messages or the ones that are relevant to the user. So to help you to be able to reach the right audiences for you, we have available targeting options. So one is default. So when we say default, these are your readily available targeting that is set into our server. So you can choose actually the age range that you're targeting for your ads campaign. Can also be by gender, by location. For location, we do geo up to city level. Can also be by connection type, mobile carrier. So mobile carrier refers to, let's say, our specific telco providers. In the case of the Philippines, that's your Globe and Smart users. Device OS is, let's say, Android or iOS users. Browser language, device capability, and lastly, device manufacturer, which can be the brand of the handset. So the different players out there, your Samsung, your Huawei, and the other players. The other one is custom targeting, which is a more premium targeting that we do. So when we say custom, basically, we add the behavior into the targeting. So this can be, let's say, if you want to target users that are overseas but have an activity to call different countries, let's say Philippines, Singapore, and etc. So just to give you an idea, this targeting is very, very popular amongst our clients on banks, financial services, or let's say OFWs that are trying to target expats or the workers that are outside the Philippines. Another one is a traveler segment. So when we say traveler segment, this actually refers to the country codes, country codes, but we're located outside that particular geo. So if you want to target, again, Philippine users, but we're located outside the Philippines, maybe for personal or business trips. And lastly, also another very popular from our end is behavior or interest targeting. So during the pandemic, one of the features that have become really popular for Viber is actually the creation and being member of the different communities. So what we have done is we have categorized these different communities on Viber. We have segmented them into different verticals. So for example, a user that has subscribed to a community on news and information will be categorized as someone that is interested in news and information. So if you're targeting a certain vertical that is again aligned, or you feel like in sync with your business, we can actually do that for you. Next slide, please. Okay, so next are stickers. So I think no further intro needed for the stickers. For stickers, just to give you a little bit of trivia, so we're getting more than 1 billion downloads on a daily basis for stickers just on SEA alone. And Philippines is again one of the biggest contributor in terms of downloads and sharing stickers. So what's good about stickers is that it gives you an opportunity as brands to create your own branded content in the form of stickers. And again, it's shareable. So given that it's shareable, there's an opportunity for you to go viral with your own content, with your own branding. And also another, aside from branding, KPIs, what you can also use the stickers for is to grow your own channels within Viber. So in Viber, we do have communities, we do have chatbots that are in a way your own channels. So we can actually use the stickers to grow those channels, wherein we add an auto-joining mechanism to your own, again, to your own sticker pack that will either redirect or lead to your community or chatbot. So that helps on the acquisition part. Next slide, please. Okay, then this is also another very exciting service or execution that we're offering. So Viber Lens is very, very, very new. I think just this month that we have introduced this into market, and it's readily available in the Philippines. So what we have done is we have inked a partnership with Snapchat, wherein by this partnership, the Snapchat AR technology is now available into Viber camera lenses. So what does it do? So basically, in Viber, you can actually create branded lenses. So given that it's branded, you can do a lot of things. You can add your own objects, your own logo, items that you feel are like relevant to your brand. So it's another way of creating fun and engaging content for you that is again has an opportunity to go viral. So this created lens can be shared across chats and families of the different Viber users, and at the same time can be saved into their own galleries, and and they can also share in their own socials. So again, answering which helps on the virality component for your own brands. For better appreciation, we actually prepared a very short video to give you an idea on how or what is Viber Lens. Can you play the video, please? Okay, there you go. That's actually a teaser. And my colleague, Veronica, will be expounding more, or will be doing a more deep dive into Viber lenses. And I think that's my part ends there. If you have, yeah, so yeah, if you have any more questions, my QR code is here. Feel free to send your questions, your concerns, clarifications, and we're looking forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carla. Dear guests, I would like to remind you that all your questions you can type into the Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. And of course, feel free to scan the QR code and you will have direct access to Carla's Viber account. And now our next speaker, Noah Barchet, will guide you through the Viber messaging solutions and will extend your knowledge about different use cases of how the solutions can help your brands to achieve business goals.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Carla, for these great presentations, and thanks everyone for joining us. I'm really happy to be here and have this opportunity to explain about our messaging solutions. You can run to the next slide. Okay, that's great. Okay, Viber provides a brand with multiple channels to communicate with the customers. As you can see here, the business messages and the chatbots. But also there's another channel I'm sure you're already familiar with, which is the communities. So while the business messages and the chatbots are dedicated to personalized to one-to-one communication, the communities are one-to-many channel. It's like a social media channel, let's call it, meant more for one-to-many, as I said. So if you go back to the tools that you should use and you can use to communicate for one-to-one with your audience, we can look at these two options here. So the chatbots, it really acts like a mini app inside Viber that can provide an automated customer support, enable transaction, provide information on things such transfer money on fintech, review and purchase products, for example, if it's a retailer bot, book a ticket, railway ticket, read the news, so forth. And while business messages is the channel that helps the business to build and manage a more meaningful conversation with their own customer base, with their consumers. How we can do this on business messages, connecting to the brand's CRM system. And then Viber really allows the brands to build a really personal relationship with each customer by sending them a personalized offering, for example, OTPs and important updates as well, just to help with customer queries, for example, by chatting with Real Agent or plugging in with an AI technology. So you can see that each tool actually has its own specific and advantages for the brands. It really depends on the brand capability and the level of experience and the use cases that you would like to achieve on Viber. You can move to the next slide. So you can see there are many key advantages for the Viber business messages. We share here some of it. So you can see that, first of all, for the sake of the user, our user, but it's your customer, the channel is unified. It's one single channel that supports all type of conversations. It's very important that the client can reach out to the brand in one single channel and discuss or ask whatever questions they want to ask without running between the channels. Also, you can see on the left side an example of what we call a profile page. It's a page that we create for every certified business with a blue tick. It really helped to gain the trust of the user the user can go to this page, look at the brand's logo, name, about, with all the information, to look for the address, the physical address, the website address, to find more information like email or phone number. And it's as I said, again, the trust for the user, and also for the brand. It's a place where the brand can share a bit more information and provide more clarity to the client. Another key advantage, if we look at our competitors, or if we look at in comparison to the traditional channels, so the capabilities in business messages are much more rich, so to speak. We support up to 1,000 characters per each message, which is a lot, including visuals, links, buttons. Brands can share files with the client, and very soon we're happy to say that very soon the brands will also be able to share video files, meaning that it can serve the purpose of, for example, a promotional or even a tutorial, explanations, or whatever the brands wants to share with the users for all these different purposes. One more thing that is very important when we look at the brand's budget at the end of the day, the bottom line, the campaigns and all the communications should be cost effective. And Viber, the charge is only per delivered message, meaning that if the message was sent and from some reason, if the user doesn't have internet at this specific time, or if it's not a Viber user, the brand won't be charged for this message, obviously. And another nice feature is that we call it TTL, time to live for the message. You can predefine the time frame for the message to be sent. Again, as an example, if there is a one-time password that is relevant for a very specific time frame of 10 minutes, there's no point for the user to receive the message after 2 hours or after a day. So the brand can predefine these 10 minutes as TTL. If the message is not delivered within this time frame, the message will be expired, the brand won't be charged. It's again for the ROI of the budgets, we know it's important. Also related to this is the advanced reports that we provide on real time. So each message that is being sent, there is a status that the brand is getting right after the message is being sent. If the message was sent, if it was delivered, if it was blocked, if the user read the message. So again, everything together is helping the brand to decide better on future campaigns, on how they want to split the budgets, and optimizing the communications with the end users. And also another advantage of using this API of Viber is the ability to integrate with your CRMs, which makes all the communication, especially the day-to-day conversations and the customer care, more easy. Everything is saved in one place, all the history. And last but not least, we know it's very important also for us, the security. The messages are encrypted, the messages are not stored on the servers, and everything is sent via HTTPS connection only. So these are the key advantages. There are many more. You can, as Maria said, you can ask more in the Q&A, or you can contact us directly. We'll be happy to share more information with you. Maria, you can move to the next slide. So there are few use cases, there are dozens of use cases for brands communications. But here are a few examples that we picked. So on the first picture, you can see, first of all, brands can upscale their sales and the user engagement, then trigger a purchase. So as you can see in the example, a brand can create a fun and interactive quiz, offer customers to solve it, and then they can receive a discount. The possibility to add an element of gamification in this business message can make it much more entertaining and also engaging for the user. So again, for the brand, it helps the brand to understand how the user reacts, how the client reacts to the communication. By connecting to the brand's CRM system and knowing the customer profile, the brand can send personalized offering. For example, you will send different messages, a different offering to a different audience, and then just not to annoy the users, and to make it more relevant. And then when you want to save the budgets again, because I'm repeating this message because I know it's part of the communication and the ongoing calculations on your side. So you can provide the clients with a special offering that is relevant for them, and then you reduce also the frustration of other customers of getting irrelevant messages, irrelevant promotion, and then you can sell your product better. So it's a total win-win, so to speak. On the second example, you can see transactional notifications. It's also another type of our messages that customers love and find relevant for them. For example, to help them track their deliveries, to receive purchase receipts, order confirmations, or reminders and appointment, and there are many more examples. On the third picture, as mentioned before, because brands can set up the TTL, the time frame for the delivering sensitive messages. So with business messages, you can have, you can even send the OTPs, one-time password, short-term reminders, and other important information that shouldn't be, let's say, shouldn't live on the device if it's not being delivered in the relevant time frame. If we look at the fourth picture, so brand can leverage a real conversation with customers and provide customer support with a live agent in real time. For example, if someone is buying a new table in the shop and then they want to receive a post-sales support, so the brand can send a video with a tutorial or explain about how to fix or how to build, for example, this table. It can reduce all the messages and calling that usually the clients find very frustrating. The support specialist can assist with the technical problems, or this via this chat, or having sending a person to visit if something is not going well. It's another benefit for everybody, especially during the pandemic time when really it's less convenient for people to leave the houses. Additionally, in the fifth example, it's very important for any brand to measure the success and understand if the customer is happy, if they provide the services properly. So the business messages allow the brands to collect the customer feedback, to stay in touch with the clients after the purchase, and it helps to improve the after-sale care, and also to make new leads into returning customers, because happy customer will return to you. Just a couple of our dozen potential scenarios. I'm sure you can already think of a few use cases that you will need. You can move to the next slide. It's my last slide, actually, regarding the chatbots. So already mentioned in the first slide, but with chatbot, just will repeat and highlight a few advantages. So you can interact with the users while using this external application, what we call the mini app, that the brand can customize according to the brand's needs and according to the capabilities, the technical capabilities to develop the bot and to support it. Then to communicate with the clients via artificial intelligence, combined with live agents, automatic or manual process. Everything is customized, everything is really by demand. So it makes everything more flexible and endless, basically. Also with the chatbots, you can reach a new customers, a new and wide range of the audience that you can offer your online services. You can distribute, for example, games, launch polls for customer care, and also, of course, generate leads and make sure the offering is relevant for the clients. For example, if it's a new customer that subscribe to your bot, you can have a set of predefined questions to understand the status of this client, if it's a client that is coming back or if it's a new client, and then to automate the chatbot script according to that. There are many more advantages for the chatbots, but I think you already can understand that it's really endless, and it's something that's nice about Viber, that we really believe that the brand knows better what works for them and can decide on how they want to manage the communication with the customers and change and modify according to the success and learn from it. So we're always happy to help. And we find it as a very good tool. And in the next slides, Veronica will share a few examples and use cases also. Thank you. Thanks, Maria.
Thank you very much, Noah. Very insightful for the audience, because I already see several questions to you in our Q&A button. And now it's time to pass the floor to our next speaker. Please welcome Veronica Fileo, who will dive deep into the recently launched Viber lenses and will share one of success stories with them.
Thanks, Maria. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Veronica Fileo, and I handle business development for Rakuten Viber. Today, I want to share two things I'm very excited about. One is a recently launched feature, Viber lenses, and the other is our not so young, dare I say, experiment that turned out to be a huge success, Food PH. First, on lenses. Next slide, please. Last September, we launched our partnership with Snapchat, which means we now have a better camera in the app. With Snapchat's AR technology, we can do a lot more, like insert objects in the user's environment, prettify the user, and create masks that follow the user's facial expression with accuracy. Next slide, please. We had a huge launch across APAC, and this slide shows some of the things we did for key territories like Philippines, Nepal, and Vietnam. Across all territories, we had local launches generating over 179 pickups and a total of 207 million reach. We also worked with almost 100 KOLs, generating over 300 posts, promoting the lenses in a very fun and engaged way. Lastly, we promoted on local media, leveraging on OOH and on ground. Next slide, please. And here are some local lenses we executed with brands. We've worked with brands like Globe Telecom in the Philippines, having co-branded lens that appeal to their base, so very young, very lifestyle. We've also worked with KOLs. So in Nepal, we had the lens with a famous local singer, Swupna Suman, where we featured his songs within the lenses. Lastly, we worked with FMCG brands like Coca-Cola. So this lens was executed in time for a local festival in Nepal, of course, with the intent of highlighting how Coke is part of such celebrations. Next slide, please. There are many possibilities and ways to execute branded lens. We can do augmented reality, leveraging on your ambassadors or key locations for the brand. Let's say you have a very popular big store, we can do a lens for that. Next, we can do masks that can promote the brand's iconic characters and look. A good example would be this lens with Globe, wherein the branded stickers are also part of the lens. Masks are also great in terms of promoting awareness, say for a cause. Lastly, for our beauty and skincare products, we can do try-on makeup, essentially allowing users to try your products digitally. Next slide, please. I hope I've made you interested and excited with Viber Lens. In terms of what's next for APAC, we're executing several projects that zoom in on our users. In the Philippines, we currently have Lens Create, a lens design contest that allows us to showcase local talent globally. In Vietnam, we have a dating show that is powered by Viber, with Lens as part of the program, and in parallel, executing various engagement activities exclusively within the app. Lastly, in South Asia, we have lenses on the Cricket World Cup, leveraging on iconic symbols representing the country. So for example, the lion in Sri Lanka, the tiger in Bangladesh, and so on. These lenses also come with audio that give off a stadium vibe. Next slide, please. So that's lenses. Now, let me kick off sharing success stories with one from the Philippines, Food PH. Next slide, please. Food PH is the official food directory bot on Viber that directly connects local sellers and buyers. Next slide. As a seller, you only have to register your business and product once to be made searchable in the bot. As a buyer, you can search for food either by food type, location, or by simply typing in the search bar. Upon search, a user is shown results, and pressing the button Order Now will redirect the user from the chatbot to a one-to-one chat with the seller. What we realized is that with the bot, it's very intentional. Essentially, people go there to order food, so to speak. So we saw an opportunity to expand the use case to something that can keep the audience engaged. And that's where we launched the community. Next slide, please. Early this year, we launched the community, and it had 3 main content buckets. So for one, we had open community to keep users engaged. We're also working with sellers to be added as admins to help co-manage the community, and all while leveraging on the different engagement tools within the app. So for example, in the screenshot, you'll be seeing our polls feature, something very useful in trying to assess the sentiments of your followers. Both bot and community have proven to be successful, which brings me to my last slide. Next slide, please. Thank you. For the Food PH bot, we're now almost at 100,000 subscribers. The bot has 50 times more subscribers than other bots with a similar function. And we've gathered at more than 3,000 merchants, and the bot has received close to 1 million messages. As for the community, we're 230,000 members strong, and we have a very active and engaged audience led by our Food PH sellers. Next slide, please. That's it for me. You can find my QR on the screen. Would be happy to help if you have any questions on creating hardworking channels on Viber. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Veronica. And we continue our success stories part. Now, I'm very glad to welcome our partner, Bridget from Mega Mobile, who will present the PowerMark Center chatbot and how Viber Solution helped them to promote it.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It's afternoon in the Philippines. I hope you're all healthy and safe. I'm Bridget Villarine. I handle the operations of the business. Mega Mobile is a company that is a trusted partner of Viber, and the way we work together is that we pretty much create a lot of the bots, even of Viber APAC, right? Viber APAC campaigns. Next slide, please. Before I start with the success story of PowerMac Center, I'd like to share the common types of bots. This is to give us an idea of the types of bots that brands can actually create. So the first one is an information for marketing and products. It may contain brand information or product benefits and features such as directories to your branches. So let's say there are a lot of branches for a particular store, and that information may not be readily available to the general audience. Having the bot as a mini app within Viber makes it very effective because people need not download a separate app just to get information about your products and services, right? So they can just follow the bot and have this information available. The second type is promos and events type. So a lot of brands do this to increase sales, right? So they would have promotional engagements. Like after you buy a certain product, you can type the promo code. Before it was done in different channels such as web and SMS. Having it on the bot really makes it more efficient because it's more visual and people need not go to separate channels. A lot of people already have Viber. They just locate your brand and enter the promo codes there. It can also be used for events. So let's say you have event updates that need to be broadcasted to your audience base. This is also, as a bot, it can also be used that way. The third type is customer service type of bot. So Noah mentioned earlier that you can have a combination of automation and manual processing of customer inquiries. And this is where it gets interesting because in a lot of cases, there are questions that can be readily answered by your frequently asked questions type of responses, right? And the bots make it easy for the customers to communicate because they need not look through your entire website just to locate the actual answer. So having them type a certain question or maybe tap the button within the bot gives them the immediate answer that they need. In the context of handing it over to a customer service representative, it's also helpful because in cases where the bot is unable to answer the customer directly, the handover to manual manner of responding is really appreciated by the customers. That way, the concerns are closed. And in some cases, this is where sales actually happen. The fourth common type is a content type of bot. It makes use of curated contents to promote brand love. So we've launched several bots in the past few years where brands do not immediately sell you products. They will first tell you more on how to use the product. And then after you get more information, okay, be it a recipe, be it a news item, and that's after that, because the customer is now engaged with the bot, engaged with the brand, that's when they push for sales. The fifth type is a transactional type of bot. This is where sales or data gathering and even booking happens. A lot of times, m-commerce being done on apps are now happening on the bots as well. So this is a preferred channel to increase the sales channels being available by the brands. Data gathering through surveys and conversations are also done within the bot. In this type of bot, the recruitment for agents perhaps or for new customers are being done through this type of bot. And then the last common type of bot is an entertainment where there is gamification to have playful engagements. So these common types of bots are actually used in combination. So it need not be just purely, let's say, just a customer service bot, because in a lot of times, brands combine several features into one bot. Next slide, please. I have here a case study of PowerMax Center. So this is a bot that we released earlier this year. It was on March in the Philippines. On the left side, you see a screenshot of how the bot looks like. It showcases the products available in PowerMax Center. On the right side, you see the content management system where Mega Mobile builds a tool on top of Viber solution so that we can provide clients with immediate reports and stats, and even the conversation handover can also happen within this tool. Next slide, please. Before I even start, I'd like to introduce PowerMax Center is one of the leading Apple resellers in the Philippines. It started as an authorized service provider, which handles repairs of Apple devices. It has grown its business to become a retailer of Apple products and other leading brand accessories. So what's interesting about the PowerMax Center bot was that when we first launched it, it was primarily for the customers to be able to view the products available, to enable clients to also make their orders within the bot. Also, because it is a service provider of Apple, if let's say clients have devices that are being repaired, so they can also check the statuses from the same bot. Interestingly, the bot has been running for about 7 to 8 months now. And if you can see on the screen, 89% of the users still remain to be subscribed, and only 11% have left. This means that the utility of the bot is very high. Even after finishing their transactions within the bot, they still keep it because they see the need to engage with that bot and with that brand at a later time. So I have 3 takeaways from this bot. First is that the months with high number of new users were on April and August of 2021. So in the Philippines, the major lockdown this year happened in April and also August. So this is one of the major drivers of its growth. People could not go out, and they now engage with the bot so that they get the same type of service as they would see maybe visiting the actual branches, right? The second major attribution to the success and the high growth of the followers is that PowerMax Center actually invested in ads. They invested in ads to promote, of course, primarily the use of the bot, and later on with the features of the products. So those are the 2 major highlights in the growth of the base. First, the situation. The second is the ad spend. Second, we noted that the month with the lowest number of users was on July. This is because during July, the lockdown in the Philippines was less severe, and more people were able to go out. And second, this was also the month where PowerMax Center did not invest in the ads to promote the bot. So it's a very natural type of growth, right? Very organic. The third takeaway is that the average new users per month is 3 times of the lean month. So when I say lean month, that refers to July. So on the average, because of a combination of the situation, the ads, and its utility factor, even the average number of users that it acquires is still 3 months of that lean month. Next slide, please. Okay, just to show you, and maybe to describe a little bit of how the PowerMax operations work, they have customer service representatives, which they call the admins. The admins are open. They are open to receive and respond to queries from Mondays to Saturdays. But as you see here on the table, they even have transactions on a Sunday. So this just shows that, even without prompting, even without actual conversations from the customer service representatives, the bot itself is very usable, very important for its customers, target customers, because they still engage with the bot even without the customer service representatives. On the other hand, if you see the transactions from Monday to Saturday, you see that there is more engagement when there is manual responses. So what this shows you that the bot is really helpful in providing information, immediate information to the customers. But what also drives an increase in engagement is the manual aspect of the bot. So around 500,000 engagements were processed by the bot in the past 6 months. So this is a lot. It means that there are a lot of transactions going on within the PowerMac bot. Another key information that I can share is that 63% of its users chatted with the bot 1 to 10 times. 35% of the users engaged with the bot 11 to 20 times, and 2% chatted with the bot more than 400 times. So what does this show us again? 35%, these are the repeat customers because they engage with the bot between 11 to 20 times, right? They may have additional questions. They may have additional orders done within the bot. So that's 35% of your audience is actually already your customer, more likely your buying customer. They are converted to your buyers. 63% could be your casual users who are interested to check out your products before actually deciding to do the purchase. While 2% are your avid users, where not only have very specific requests, perhaps asking our customer service representatives a lot of questions, but they also engage with the bot checking out your products. Next slide, please. Okay, so how PowerMac was promoted via Viber mobile advertising was that it came out on Viber post call, Viber chat, Viber calls, and Viber extension. And as we see here, the CTR, the click-through rates are quite high. For Viber post call, it's 8.83%. On Viber chat, main chat screen, it's at 0.39%. On Viber calls at 0.62%. And on chat extension at 0.3%. So this now translate, the CTR now translate to new users within the bot and new engagements, thereby giving the brand more opportunity to close a sale. Next slide, please. Okay. It also came out on Viber Desktop, which garnered 0.33% CTR. So this, again, the success of the PowerMac Center bot hinged on two things. One was the situation where people are now encouraged to transact within the bot, primarily because the information that they need or the solution that they need is already available there. Second was the ad spend. Next slide, please. All right, that's it for me. Thank you for listening. In case you have any bot requirements, feel free to reach out to me and to the Viber team. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bridget, for a very interesting success story. And now it's time to let our partners Romy from Infobit present their platform, and together with Edsel share another great success story about how Viber for Business solutions helped Cebu Pacific to enhance their mobile marketing strategy. And by the way, this is the last part of our presentation, after which we will switch to the Q&A part. So make sure you send your questions to the Q&A button.
Thank you, Maria. Good day, everyone. Romy here, Senior Sales Manager of Infobit. So I'll be doing a very short introduction of Infobit and some highlights on our partnership with Rakuten Viber and how our collaboration throughout the years has brought about an impact on how businesses communicate with their customers nowadays. So next slide, please. So it's Infobip, and just to give you a quick overview, our headquarters is in Croatia. We have 70 plus offices globally, and we have our Center of Excellence for Asia Pacific headquartered in Metro Manila in BGC. So we are about 100 plus strong here in Manila, and globally we have over 3,000 plus employees as we speak, with the merger of two different companies that we bought just very recently. Next slide, please. So Infobip in a nutshell is a SaaS company, meaning software as a service, communications platform provider. We've been partners with Rakuten Viber since 2016, and we are very pleased to say that over the years, we have managed to extend and continually grow our relationship and presence in Asia and in other parts of the globe. So what does this partnership between Infobip and Viber mean for businesses and consumers? Well, Infobip provides the most powerful marketing automation tool you can find on the market today. We have developed a unified customer engagement platform where you can manage the entire customer engagement journey. We also provide solutions for chatbots with natural language processing and running on artificial intelligence. On top of that, we have our CCaaS, or contact center as a service, where you can unify and view in a single dashboard all omni-channel communications with your customers. So all of these solutions are natively integrated and developed by Infobip and are cloud-based and running on top of the channels. Now, Viber, being the most dominant and the most preferred chat app amongst the Filipinos and also in other parts of the globe, our partnership has already helped thousands of businesses in building personalized relationship with their customers. And we are humbled to say that from 2018 alone up to this day, we have already delivered over 2.5 billion of Viber messages through the Infobip platform to different people across the globe. Next slide, please. Now, with the Infobip and Viber partnership, our collaboration has borne fruit, not only in shaping our products, but also in understanding our clients' needs and in helping each other anticipate what the client is actually looking for. So with this in mind, we have developed our solutions to simplify the challenges that businesses face when connecting with multiple systems. Second, all of our solutions are cloud-based, which can suit any climate demands, as people can have access to the services wherever they are across the globe. And third, and most importantly, we deliver solutions that has tangible and measurable results, be it reducing your CapEx or your OpEx, or ultimately increasing your conversion rate. And lastly, our platform is secure. There are encryptions on the API level, encryption on the platform level, and even encryption on the actual message delivery mechanisms themselves. Next slide, please. So moving forward, we understand that the future lies in adding value to the user experience and allowing businesses and consumers to be in contact whenever they want and whichever they want to get the best customer experience and foster loyalty to the brand. So if you want to offer a native experience to your consumers, you have to give them the means to have a conversation with the brands and services that they prefer to engage with. And that's where Infobip and Viber comes in. So that's it for me. Thank you. I would like to give the mic to Edsel of Cebu Pacific, one of our valued partners who will be presenting their use case for Viber business messaging and the key result areas that our solutions have positively brought about for Cebu Pacific. So thank you.
Thank you for the intro, Romy. It's officially the evening already, so good evening, everybody. And I would like to apologize for my dogs that are barking outside, so please bear with me. So my name is Edsel. I'm from Cebu Pacific Air, the leading airlines here in the Philippines. Next slide, please. Next slide, you can skip that. Yeah, so we all know that the travel industry is the hardest hit industry by COVID. So during this period, we know that because of various lockdown restrictions, changing travel requirements, are typical products such as our pizza sale, which we are very known for, or other discounted products, were a difficult thing to sell during the COVID period. To know more about what our customers needed, Cebu Pacific commissioned studies to determine new factors that our customers now consider before buying flights. The new considerations were: 1, affordability; 2, the travel period related to the lockdown restriction; 3, flexibility should those restrictions suddenly change; and 4, the destination; and lastly, they wanted a product that would be easy to use in this time of this pandemic period. All of those factors contributed to us formulating our newest product. The product is called the SEB Super Pass. So if you just can go to the next slide, please. Yeah, so that is the SEB Super Pass. You may want to ask what the SEB Super Pass is. It's a voucher that enables our customers to fly when they want to, where they want to, while locking in a very affordable fare of 99 pesos. So this product gives great flexibility to our customers, enabling them to travel when they feel it is convenient for them to do so, and when they feel it is safe for them to do so. We marketed our SEB Super Pass product with the help of the Viber messaging platform with our partners from Infobip. We utilize the allowable length that a Viber message enables you to. We utilize the ability to add multimedia to our messages for greater impact. And we also considered the effectivity of Infobip's failover functionality in order for us to save up on cost. The results were, well, they were pretty good. Next slide, please. With help of Viber, we were able to achieve 278% better conversion rates when you compare that to our traditional emails. We also experienced a 26% improvement in cost efficiency. And the most important metric that we wanted to achieve with everything was increase in sales. Overall, the campaign, we were able to sell 151% more vouchers, comparing that to a comparable voucher sale that we also executed during the COVID era. Well, I hope it may be short, but I hope the information I provided you was useful. I hope that most of you, if not all of you, were able to buy our SEB Super Pass, and we hope to see you on board on one of our many yellow airplanes in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ed. Thank you very much, Romy. That's fantastic. Really appreciate that. And now we can move to the Q&A section. I already see a lot of questions from the audience, and I hope we will try to cover them. The first question will go to Carla. Dear Carla, how Viber Lenses will be a part of Viber for Business? Isn't it a B2C feature?
Okay. Well, Viber for Business, it's not limited to B2B or B2C only. So the idea of Viber for Business, again, it's a set of integrated solutions to help your business goals, may it be B2B and B2C. So for Viber for Lenses, again, I agree that can be B2C, but the idea is not to limit it to either, again, B2B or a B2C one.
Thank you very much, Carla. And now I think we can combine two questions together and address them to Noah. One of the questions is there a roadmap to include GIF a short video to one-way Viber messages campaign, because now they're available only on two-way communication? And another question, if a brand can send video to the in the nearest future, what will be the maximum size?
Thanks, Maria. Okay, so for the first question, GIFs currently are not on the roadmap. And as for the question regarding video for one-way or two-way, so in the past several weeks, we made a change where we unified all the channels of business messages. So there's no more one-way channel, two-way channel, session channel. Everything is in one place, in one single channel, meaning that there are no limitation. The brand can send the videos, the users can also send video back. And there was also a question about the size of the video, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, about the size.
Okay, so the maximum size I can see here on the spec is 200 megabytes for a video file.
Okay, thank you very much. And the next question is again to you, Noah. Does Viber have native integration with ticketing tools like Jira by Atlassian to work on Viber messages as tickets?
Okay, so we our business model is, as you saw Infobip's participation here, Romy, we work with our partners, and part of the offering of our partners, such as Infobip, part of the offering and the solutions they suggest to the clients is to use their system, their interface, that can replace the ticketing system or can integrate to the ticketing system. And on top of this, we are planning next year, which is in a month from now, to start a research for each region, what are the top CRM companies, and think if we can integrate Viber with these top CRMs, and then offer to our partners a plug-in, then it can help the brands to work and send all the communications on the regular CRM system that they're already using via the partner integration. So it's definitely something that is on our roadmap. Yes.
Thank you very much. Now I see there is another question, maybe to Carla or to Veronica. Are Viber lenses for all regions? Carla or Veronica?
Yes, Viber for lenses is available already in all regions, specifically on SEA, yes. So we're very glad to start working with you on this.
Great, thank you very much. I think there are other questions that were already covered. Okay, we have another question. What the importance of knowing the right channel to reach out to customers? For example, in Viber case, Viber business messages, bots, and communities. I think we can address this question to almost each of our today's speakers. We can start from Infobip and Cebu Pacific, and then maybe Noah will extend this answer. Rumi?
I'm sorry, Maria.
Should I repeat the question?
Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead.
What the importance of knowing the right channel to reach out to customers? For example, in Viber case, Viber business messages, bots, and communities. How the audience can find the right solution that will fit their needs.
Yes. Cool. Yeah. So, as businesses focus on the customer experience and customer journey, there is a need to consider what channels to use for this engagement. So understanding this will enable businesses to figure out the best way to promote on a specific channel. So some customers prefer to chat directly with customer support on a business chat, and others actually prefer going through preset answers to get their query resolved. And there are those that prefer to interact with like-minded customers in a group chat. So while the latter has been around for decades, direct business chats and bots are fairly recent and have been experiencing fast take-up, especially those that use social media to connect and engage with their customers.
Thank you very much, Rami. I see that Bridget would like also to share her opinion on this question. Bridget.
Thank you, Maria. Well, Mega Mobile, we're part of the Inquire group of companies, and I'd like to share how we use it on different scenarios. So communities, it's being used primarily for one-to-many type of communication, right? And that is done via broadcasting within the community channel. While on the Viber business message, it's pretty much like your hyper multimedia SMS, where you need to have the mobile number of your audience before you can actually send out the message. While on the bot, it's the way we see it is it's like an app within Viber where you can include different behaviors that you want to address for your customers. So all these three channels can be used by one brand depending on the situation. Are they trying to provide more features so that the customers can get more responses, or maybe get more support towards the customer service representative type of engagements? So you do it via the bot, or that can also be done via promos. Are you trying to send out a broadcast message to pretty much all your audience? Then you have the community, because that is the one-to-many type of communication. For Viber Business Message, it is also a one-to-one thing, but you will need to have the mobile number of your audience before you can actually do this. So that is how we differentiate these three channels when it comes to utility for brands. Thank you, Maria.
Amazing video. Thank you very much, dear guests, dear attendees. I think we're already more than 1 hour, and I don't like it, but I think we have to finish the webinar right now. Dear speakers, thank you so much for joining us today. Dear attendees, thank you so much. And I hope you have found our webinar useful and insightful. Each of you will receive a recording and presentation from the webinar in a few days, as well as the contact information. So in case we haven't covered your questions during the Q&A session, we will be happy to do that later. Thank you once again, and hope to see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.